the demand is one thing, but the need is another thing. I think it took time for people to understand the importance of the skill versus the degree, and but as a matter of fact, we have always put the emphasis on the skill development because degree are just piece of paper. Skill are something that you keep with you for the entire life. So obviously, having a degree and not getting a job is something which is totally useless. But when you have the skill and you can do the job, believe me, you will get the job. And not only you will get the job, but you will be able to create job because you have the skills.
As per you, what steps can institutes take to bridge the gap between curriculum knowledge and industry expectations? How are students to be made ready for the industries instead of just reading their curriculum?
Yeah. See, we have to change the curriculum. So what is wrong is the curriculum. It is the way the things are done, Learning by heart, textbook, and answering what is there in the textbook will never help anybody. And the whatever is in the textbook is an old story. It's a 10-year, 20-year, 30 years knowledge which is there. The world is evolving at a huge speed, so you have to adapt to the real world. So what is important is really for the school and the institute to be in tune with what is happening in the world. And sorry, I will say not only adapting to the demand of the industry and the company, but anticipating, because even the company, the enterprise, they are not aware of this speed at which the thing, because they have their own routine, their own procedure. What is important is to anticipate the future, because when you are in education, you speak about children who will be in the world after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So what will be the world after 15 years? Today, nobody has seen the future. So they must be equipped, which is why the skill is so important, and not any skill, but very what we call transversal skill. That means skills which are valid today, which was valid yesterday, and which will be valid tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Not how to put a screw, not how, it's not just the basic vocational skill which will evolve depending upon the material which is evolving, the technology, etc. But transversal skill. Communication is a skill that we was needing it, we will always need them. Critical thinking is a skill that which was required and which is even more and more will be more and more required in the future. So we have to really target this fundamental skill and not only adapt to the demand, but creating the demand. That means generating the skill which will be able, which will empower the student and the future adult to not only fill the vacancy but to create and to generate new field and new activity, because they are the one who will do that.
You mentioned critical thinking and communications as the most important skills, and they are ever evolving too. So, how do you think AI integration will affect these skills?
See, precisely, I have mentioned two skills which are precisely out of the scope of AI. Communication is a direct transaction between human beings, and the machine, by its own definition, is not a human being. So why the AI is actually about language. It's a LLM, large language model, but it is just the abstract part of the language, not the communication part. So which is why the AI will master that. For example, less and less you have to emphasize about correct spelling. This AI can very well deal with this aspect, the spelling, the syntax, the correction of the language. But AI will never communicate an emotion because it doesn't have emotion. So critical thinking, it is precisely what is lacking in the AI. AI doesn't have a critical thinking. AI will process billions of information and just give it to you. But it doesn't have this ability of selecting, choosing the correct information, which is really from where it is coming, what is the source of the information, what is the value, relative value, and the ethics of it, which is why, and ultimately it will come to ethics, the ultimate value that you have to